So in today's video, I'm going to try a new camera angle here on the bench so that you can hopefully see a little bit better what I'm doing. And I also need to unsolder some of the things that I did yesterday so that I can add a power lead to the level shifter that I forgot to do in yesterday's video. Hopefully we can also add some of the other JST connectors to the board before I go to bed tonight, but we'll see how much progress I make. And hopefully we'll do better than yesterday. So here goes nothing. The first thing I need to do is flip this whole thing over and unsolder that level shifter. Kind of stinks because I was really happy with these. I had to connect two of these holes together and I used solder blobs to do that. I was really happy with the way they came out, but unfortunately I need to get this level shifter off of there. So I'm going to apply a little bit of flux here and desolder all of that. Now I wish I hadn't soldered all the pins. We'll see how this goes. And of course, on go the glasses so that I become smarter. I just wanted to point out that this is where my struggle really begins. I was able to remove most of the solder with a solder sucker and copper wick, but the IC for the level shifter just refused to drop from the board. I had a 10-pack of these, so I ended up just prying up the legs with a hot soldering iron, then prying off the other side just by wiggling it back and forth. Using the brute force method and forcing the legs out of the project board meant that I left a lot of those metal legs still soldered into the board, and it took me nearly an hour to remove all of them. And believe me, I tried everything I could think of when I was tired, including the solder sucker, more solder wick. I stripped a little wire poker here and I tried to heat it up so that I could force it through the solder, and that didn't work. More solder wick. And then I eventually changed the soldering iron tip to a really fine point so that I could poke the molten solder through the holes. And I was really struggling with that too. At one point, I got desperate and I tried to heat up the solder and then just blow on it. But obviously that didn't work either. All it did was cool down the solder immediately and just left the hole full of solder. And then eventually went back to more solder wick and that fine point on the soldering iron. And that seemed to help a little bit, and I just kept going at this until I got it working. And in hindsight, I should have just used hot air with the solder sucker. And I think that's what it's really used for. You can heat the whole board at once, and the IC should, in theory, just fall right out. But I didn't think of that when I was tired last night. Well, at least now we have a power lead. It took me forever to do this, and it's time for bed again. So I didn't get as far as I wanted to, but I'm pretty happy that I think this will work now. So we're going to leave this for tonight. Well, I think that's enough for this video. I really struggled for about an hour to get that level shifter completely desoldered from the board, and that was very frustrating. And again, I just ran out of time. But I did get the power lead attached to it, so I'm pretty happy about that. In tomorrow's video, we're going to try to get the JST leads for all of the other components connected, and hopefully that will go smoothly. I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out, but again, that's enough for tonight. I'm going to bed. This is day 18 of a 30-day challenge I've given myself to post a video to YouTube every day in the month of September. And like I've said in the previous videos, if you have any feedback for me about how I can desolder things better or how I can make better videos, please leave a comment down below. But for now, that's my 2 cents. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night and stay awesome.